Daylight. I really enjoyed this. I thought this was really powerful, and I really liked how they kind of had her trapped in the same kind of day, the same kind of morning, just repeating the kind of motions again and again as she's clearly struggling with a few things and trying to navigate her way through. And I liked that they had the same kind of morning routine, the same kind of like almost monotonous day-to-day things, because I think that a lot of the times when we are struggling to process something, or we're just struggling with something in general, we kind of default into our normal kind of standard routine, or we can default into a normal routine. And for her, that was like obviously like waking up, smoking, doing her job, like kind of just the almost bare minimum of like day in and day out. And I really liked that they added that, because I thought that it really showed just how much it was affecting her and how much she was struggling to kind of move past that, because she seemed like she was just kind of repeating the same thing again and again, which I thought worked really well, and I thought was really kind of realistic. I loved this. I thought that this was, like I said, a really powerful movie, and clearly she's a lot going on, and it's not just the college stuff, it's not just the stuff with her ex, it's everything, and that's so much to try and process and figure out how to navigate and what the best way forward is. And I kind of liked that they took a pretty realistic approach with this, of she clearly just wanted to escape for a little bit because she didn't really know how to navigate all of that and how to process it, and she kind of, like I said, defaulted to smoking and just kind of ignoring it, which I think can be a really realistic situation, especially when something first happens and it's so fresh and it's so new, that sometimes that you just want to escape before you try and figure out, okay, how do I move forward? So I really liked it.
Daylight, the use of repetition in this piece, the grounded naturalism of the environment, of the physical movement. These are some of the things that really stood out to me with this piece, and also thematically how it deals with dealing with trauma and the lack thereof of dealing with it, but trying to avoid it at any cost. But it becomes a part of our routine, right? That ignorance becomes ingrained in us and habitual. And there's a really great display of an habitual routine slowly unwinding here until ultimately, as we see in the conclusion, she reaches a kind of breaking point and finally breaks free and allows herself to be honest and confront what she's been dealing with.
In the story Daylight, we get this sense of Groundhog Day, the day repeating itself over and over, but in reality, we're really getting a true sense of this character's sense of depression as she has gone through a traumatic incident that she is coping with. And she's coping with it in the means of leaning on to plant medicine and really going through these movements, these flashbacks, these moments of reflection. So when the person who has assaulted her ends up on her doorstep, she gets this sudden urge to be in this like frozen state almost. So I think a lot of the things that we get to see, right? The fact that the neutral color palette exists, this sense of whiteness, this sense of pureness that has been dismantled by this experience. The look of the clock, and the clock being something that she looks at the same time of when her incident had occurred. These little tiny moments that are reality for some people. I think this felt natural to the experience of survivors The character does a really good job of displaying the sense of numbness, but also being succumbed by the emotion. And you get to see her support system be there for her, try to pull her out, reconnect with her passions. All of these things end up coming into play when it comes into taking on the healing path after a traumatic incident.
The ship is for daylight. This has an excellent concept or format. I felt a bit of a Groundhog Day vibe. They have great performances, and the script is so sensibly put together, and it's just a great approach to having experienced that and how to deal with it in the morning and the day after that and the day after that. And it's just a good approach. I enjoyed it. It was sensible. It was totally relatable and well related. I enjoyed it a lot. It's great to raise awareness through works like this.